Tintin na naman ang buhok natin. Alright guys, welcome back everyone dito sa latest episode ng Deep Dive natin. Apologies guys, grabe yung schedule natin dito. So, hello from London. We flew into London the other day from Budapest naman from speaking engagements natin. Dito naman I'm looking forward to a couple of important meetings including dun sa mga foreign ministry folks nila dito later on para pag-usapan yung bilateral relationship natin, paano natin palakasin ng strategic defense ties between UK and the UK and the Philippines. Not to mention also pag-usapan din natin yung mga broader picture, ASEAN, China, US, and then of course soon hopefully also with our French counterparts. So alam niyo naman ako in my own little ways. On the sides, we also do my own personal diplomacy discussions with relevant officials from different governments dito sa Europe. Kudus again, thank you so much at Danube Institute dyan sa Budapest also and our good friends sa Philippines, sa DFA na tumulong. Alam nila kung sino mga tumulong sa atin to arrange the whole thing and all in Budapest. So thank you so much and fantastic times, guys. Honestly, surprisingly very warm and very actually medyo mainit-init, medyo Capri level yung weather sa London yesterday. Quite surprising, but intense schedule. I think some of you guys, at least on YouTube, were able to catch parts of my 1 hour interview with Veritas, Radyo Veritas kahapon. Marami kaming pinag-usapan. So I really suggest folks to check that out or at least snippets of that dito sa YouTube sa live natin. As you can see, wala akong masyadong na-upload recently. Sobrang hectic ng schedule natin. Uh, First of all, ang hirap ng time zones. As you may see, I also had interviews with BBC here on other developments, including Prime Minister Albanese's visit sa Indonesia, its relevance. So alam niyo naman guys, literally all over the place tayo, both physically and figuratively also in terms of ang dami natin kailangan gawin. So I'm just trying to keep this thing together while also writing columns and articles ukol sa midterm elections. Kakalabas lang yung isa natin from the national newspaper sa United Arab Emirates. You can check out my latest analysis. I have a couple of other ones coming in. So basically, I want to build on that, guys, bago tayo pumunta sa ating next engagement. Um, if you really look at what happened in these elections, pag titignan mo talaga yung datos, pag titignan mo yung, wala pa ako nakitang exit poll eh, pero at least nakita natin yung mga election analysis. Sino mga kumuha ng anong boto, ano yung mga um, regional trend lines, bakit ang taas ni ganito, bakit nag-overperform si Marcoleta, si Bam, si Kiko, bakit nag-number one si Bongo. Ang dami kong tinignan na factors, guys, and pinag-aaralan natin yan as we speak. No? Don't worry, guys, pag-usapan natin si Harry Roque. Wala siya dito sa London. Wala rin siya sa Budapest. So, baka naman sa Paris kami magkikita. What? City of Lovers, Paris. Wait, parang mali. Erase, okay. Parang ayoko, okay. Anyway, hindi, ayoko talaga. But no, speaking of, hindi, o nga na, Harry Roque yung topic natin. So, sorry guys, I came in my respectable British gentleman mode. So, sabi ko pag Harry Roque ang simula, masisira yung aking ganitong, ano ba to, Chesterton chair. And, guys naman, let me feel naman my UK gentleman. Medyo Oxford boy. Ganun. Okay. Alright. Nakakasira talaga si Harry Roque. Nakakasira talaga siya. Pero, aminin natin, pag Harry Roque yung topic, grabe. So, hopefully we'll have Attorney Conti soon again. Grabe yung mga ano natin mga interviews natin with Attorney Conti kahit yung mga tabi-tabi lang kinuha ko literally sa airport sa NAIA bago pumila sa immigration line. Naka 200,000-300,000 views na tayo sa YouTube. So check it out. Is Bato or even Bongo on the list potentially after these elections? Kasi si Bato nag-hyperventilate na eh. Hindi, yung aking pagkapanalo ay isang charot-charot sa ICC. Ganyan. Well, mas mataas ang vote ni Bam sa'yo. Hindi naman against ICC ang si Bam, di ba? So, baka naman walang kinalaman, no? But anyways, so bago tayo pumunta kay Harry Roque, let me just talk about the big picture, no? To be honest, if you look at it, sa tingin ko, mas magulo yung politika natin after these elections. Kasi, in a way, all camps lost and all camps won. So obviously, on the surface at least, or not, or more than just the surface, natalong administration by really underperforming. You would have expected 6 to 8 seats sa admin ang pupunta sa kanila. 6 ang maximum, pero 6 ba talaga? Camille Villar, admin ba talaga siya, or DDS? or Villar siya, 'di ba? So, five basically ang alyansa, and dun sa five, ilan ba diyan talagang who are loyal to BBM or his vision for the country? And then if you look at it for the DTS side, there's a reason why na si Sara Duterte sabi niya medyo disappointed din siya at she was expecting more is because yeah, you got Bongo there and then you got Bato there and then we don't know if Bato is gonna be around for long in the Philippines kung may ICC warrant of arrest and all of that. If you're Bongo, you want to be careful. If you have presidential ambitions or you want to just make sure na don't get into trouble, baka gusto mong mag-ingat-ingat. And then, there's Marcoleta, of course, but Marcoleta has his own base. And then there's Camille. As I said, Camille can go both ways. And si Crush, si Millennial Crush. Uy, by the way, final may Millennial na dyan sa Senado. Bagong mukha, bagong mukha. Uy, natalo si Ma'am Cynthia. So there's balance in the universe pala. Anyway, and then Amy Marcos. Amy Marcos is a very interesting case. So obviously, may expect mo si Amy Marcos, ang laki ng utang na loob niya kay Sara. Ano pa siya, medyo nag-last minute humabol siya. You can say maybe there was a Sara booster, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say kasi tinignan ko yung vote breakdown. A lot of what Amy won was just in the north of country. So basically, solid North carried Amy Marcos. Sobrang grabing voting for her and ang dami mong makitang picture sa Ilocos region na nakataas ang kamay niya with BBM. So ano ba to? Good cop, bad cop? What's going on? You never know with the Marcoses. OG sila. So, if you're also the Duterte side, let's see. And then, of course, yes, may mga Duterte-aligned mayors like Magalong, Duterte-aligned mayors. I'll just call it for what it is. Isko, yung governor ng Cebu. Yes, and then, of course, Davao, work from Hague. But let's not forget, if you're LGU, kailangan mo talagang suporta ng gobyerno. So I won't be surprised if Isko or Magalang will try to find the modus vivendi with BBM and not necessarily go on full on opposition because, if you're LGU, you don't want to be on the complete wrong side of the national government, right? No. So, if you're also DDS side, this is not a very straightforward victory for you. It's tricky. I think ang gusto talaga ng mga DDS is not only Sara blocking conviction. I think they want to make sure that walang trial to begin with because imagine this, guys. Even if Sara Duterte puts together 7, 8, 9 votes, actually 8 ang kailangan lang niya. But if there were to be trial and dun sa trial na yan, and soon I'll go to the other side of the equation, ilalabas lahat ng baho or mga alleged na mga anomalya na mga kung ano nung Miggy Mango na ginawa nung dating Deputy Secretary natin. That in itself could be quite explosive, right? And there are many people who are gonna make their careers for national position and beyond sa darating na trial ni Sara Duterte. So if you're Sara Duterte, actually, your preferred outcome is walang trial na mangyari, meaning you'll have, or if may trial na mangyari, it will be a Mickey Mouse trial. Meaning, sisiguraduhin mo dun sa mga, I don't know, 10 trapo at yung mga ibang factotum dyan na pro-DDS, you can get enough people to make sure na the quantum, for instance, of evidence is so high na mahirap, na almost maging impossible to make Sara guilty, to make the dynamics of the trial so Mickey Mousey, so that basically makalusot si Miggy Mango, Mary Grace Piatos, all of that stuff. Let's see. It's interesting. But this brings me really to the third part of this equation. At ito yung issue ng pink opposition. Because if you're also pink opposition, if you look at it, yes, amazing. I mean, BAM number 2, Kiko number 5. I mean, complete defiance of all surveys, as I said. Yeah, yung kay Malu medyo nakalusot ng konti, but generally all surveys got it absolutely wrong. Ang daming na miss. Ang daming although as I said, the consumer sentiment one that was sent to me, muntik kong nilaglag anong company yan. They got it exactly right, yung top 5. So I have may resibo tayo dyan, pinost natin dyan. No, if you're, okay, so ang ganda ng ranking ni Bam and Kiko, but guys, numbers game to. 2 vote lang yan. Bam is 1 vote, Kiko is 1 vote. And then of course, there's that theory na, well, kung nanalo yung isa dyan because of INC endorsement, will that person vote against Sara Duterte knowing where INC stands? There's also that school of thought, right? Honestly, I was looking at Heidi Mendoza's numbers. By the way, Heidi Mendoza is an interesting case because wala siyang grassroots support. wala siyang resources at all. Totally, totally. Basically sariling sikap yung ginawa niya. Binash-bash pa siya ng ibang mga kaibigan natin. Obviously because of some, I would say genuine, sincere disagreement on certain issues. I understand that, but honestly, I was looking at Heidi Mendoza's number. She got more votes than Willie Revillame, who was pasok sa Magic 12 sa Pulse Asia or whatever. And it makes you think, actually, Heidi Mendoza could have made it. She probably could have made it. I mean, what, 7, 8, 9 million votes? I mean, and I don't know dun sa ibang tao. Kasi purong kabilang channel lang tinitignan ng tao. I mean, honestly, sometimes I'm surprised, no? Guys, I do the international news. I do BBC, CN, whatever international. I do also my best for local. I'm doing all of this at the same time. Sana naman sometimes people appreciate what I'm doing in the time I'm putting into this local stuff because I try to bring a different perspective. And unlike dun sa kabilang channel and all, I'm not doing it as a journalist. I'm doing it as a political analyst and specialist, right? Political scientist, actually, to be technical about this. So anyway, if you watch yung interview natin kay Heidi Mendoza during the campaign period, tinanong ko siya point blank. Um, would you have wanted na kasama mo sila Kiko Bam sa mga campaign? Na nung tinaas ang kamay ni Lenny si Kiko and Bam, would you have wanted nandun ka? And you can see the answer there. Guys, honestly, sa akin palagay, kung sinama sana si Heidi doon sa Kiko Bam, hindi, I'm getting this like sample ballot in, I don't know, Bicol, Naga, whatever. Guys, no, I'm talking about like organized, mobilized, talagang, some sort of command center whereby Kiko, Bam, Heidi working together. Yeah, I saw the tarps. I saw attempts. I saw sprinkles of matching them together. But guys, if you look at it, Heidi Mendoza's profile is not to be different from either Aquino or Kiko, right? In a sense that sa tingin ko, had Heidi Mendoza got more mobilization, support, and mas pasok siya dun sa Kiko Bam or Checky Bam or whatever you want to call it. By the way, Checky Bam, very successful, 100% success rate. Chel Jokno, Cheldren, Akbayan number one, perfect. But honestly, a part of me nasayahan kay Heidi because hindi ako nasayahan in the long run because Heidi will be a force to reckon with for years to come and I want Heidi to run for Senate at the very least in the next election cycle. But a part of me feels Heidi could have been the Camille or Amy, if not even the Marcoleta in terms of performance and numbers, had she been within the Checky Bam and Kiko Bam, um, basically universe, in terms of access to LGUs. Kasi guys, di ba, kung titingnan mo si Heidi Mendoza, ang taas ng numbers na easily top 5, top 10 siya sa NCR, Central Luzon, basically the L2L corridor, not too bad. But basically, wala ng presence beyond that. Di ba? So basically, ang okay siya dito, tapos basically zero siya to the rest. So my sense is if Heidi Mendoza had more support then mas pasok siya doon, maybe number 13, maybe number 12 even, right? And yung kay Lenny, endorsement niya kay Pacman and Abalos, I felt if it came earlier, it was more forceful. Probably wala ka ng Amy Marcos and probably not even Lito Lapid or Camille. Because if you look at Camille, Lito Lapid, and Amy Marcos, like, right? All three of those could have been replaced by Heidi Abalos Pacquiao. Now, yes, 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 I get the point. Kasi sabi ng mga surveys, alanganin buhot si Bam, alanganin si Kiko. So, baka naman, pag binoto mo yung iba, baka maging alanganin din sila. That is a completely legitimate argument. And kaya sabi ko, pag-aralan natin yung mga surveys, why did they get this so wrong in terms of, like Kiko totally barely top 20 and then Bam barely 11th, mga ganyan. And sometimes kung Chamba lang 10th. So something went really wrong with the surveys, and my sense is the surveys did not capture the Gen Z vote, the youth vote, and some of the dynamism there. So maybe they have to do some methodological adjustments there, and probably at least base dun sa experience natin sa mga sa mga sarili natin mga kali survey, marami din sa ating mga kababayan na hindi masyadong komportable to say exactly what they feel about things kasi nga natatakot sila, napaka polarizing situation. So I don't know. If you look at it, all sides can both claim victory. I mean, BBM can still also claim victory. I mean, technically 6 out of 12 in Senate, super majority in the Congress, what, 90+% ng LGU, lahat admin naman eh. Right? Checky Bomb can say 100% success rate, Kuduska Rizzo Ontiveros, and DDS can also say success rate, almost number 2 si Bato, number 1 si Bongo, nakapasok si Marcoleta, si Aimee, si Camille. So, all sides can claim success, and all sides actually can also say we could have done better, right? I think I see where Sarah is coming from, and the fact that ang dami, halos lahat ng mga na-endorse niya sa ball, talo or something. Like it's not like Camille and Aimee were like super boosted by Sarah. I mean, Aimee is barely in top 12, right? And as I said, nasayangan ako. I think Heidi Mendoza had an opportunity. I think Pacman and Abalos would have had an opportunity. You could imagine Pacman, Abalos, Heidi instead of um, Camille, Lito Lapid. Yung Lito Lapid naman, di ba? Do we need to even explain? Although parang in fairness, siya na yung represent ng mga veterano. Sige na nga, hindi ko na sabihin washed up artista. Ang daming natalo eh. Si Willie, si Bong Revilla, si Ipe, whatever. But, do you get what I'm saying? Kaya sabi ko parang mas magulo pa nga nangyayari ngayon kasi, okay. And then dun sa mga progressive, Chell and Layla, just as we said, pasok na dun sa prosecution team. Good. Although parang weird, biglang yung isang Court of Appeals, yung case ni Layla, yung reverse parang what the heck? That's a separate case siguro with Dino De Leon ko na lang pag-usapan and some of our legal friends, but that was crazy stuff. Um, but honestly, fundamentally goes down to two things, guys. Ito ang thesis ko is very simple. A Duterte comeback is almost inevitable, whether it's a Bongo version, whether it's a Sara version, whether it's, I don't know, a combination or compromise between those two factions within the House of Duterte. Oh, yeah, of course, I know it's the internal factions and all of that. Like, hello. Yung mga nag-lecture sa akin, ay, alam mo ba, may hidwaan si Gablang. You're lecturing me. But whatever. Pero patakboy natin si Bongo, no? Kailangan tumakbo si Bongo. No, but di ka what I'm saying? Uh, a Duterte comeback is almost inevitable, guys, in one way or another, unless two things come together. One is BBM has to really step up his game. I think BBM was just bugbog sarado siya sa worst budget ever, PhilHealth, ayuda issue, bugbog sarado din siya after the ICC issue. And ano yung ginawa niya? I mean, yes, Claire Castro is doing fantastic on her own part, but she's not the president. It should be the president himself to rally the nation, etc. So basically, I think BBM has to go for broke. Um, Maraming kaso mga Duterte, maraming kaso yung mga Duterte-aligned candidates, maraming kaso yung mga ibang trapo. Last time I checked, the president is the head of the executive, NBI, Department of Justice, whatever, right? Kung may mga kaso, may mga ganun, go for it. Whether that will be uh, tethered dun sa, kung ididikit mo yun dun sa issue ng Sara impeachment and numbers, or whether directly you just go after them. Like Sara, may direct threat sa presidente, NBI, ganun. BBM has still leverage of power. So, yes, he will be a lame duck if he's not willing to use the powers he has. But he will not be a lame duck if he smartly uses the power he has. Right? It's as simple as that. So, yeah, kailangan mag-step up si BBM, including in terms of his communication strategy. He has to step up. I mean, for heaven's sake, I'm barely hearing BBM at all. He has to speak. I mean, we had Digong for 6 years na every night nag-istorya, sabog all over the place, work from Hague talagang ang ano niya. Um, but but that was entertaining. That was politically very effective. Audience impact. I mean, si Digong yung walang kakwenta-kwentang kandidato pero may audience impact kasi nakakatawa and all. Pero merit-wise, zero. Pero audience favorite. Mr. Congeniality-ish. Or like in a dark, clownish, whatever way. But anyway, you get what I'm saying? And then BBM gives one nice formal speech, then walang follow through. Right? Gives that big speech on nung na-threaten siya ni Sara, and then after that, hindi, you never know. Okay pa rin, pwede kami maging friend. And then, yung sa Lawag, big speech siya, ganyan, kami, hindi kami formally, ganyan, and then walang follow through. Or walang follow through yung mga muchacha niya, yung mga aliado niya. And then ngayon, sasabihin niya, ayoko ng trial, ganun, like, it's it's pathetic. I'm sorry, it's pathetic. Like either you just shut up and don't say anything about it if you want to project neutrality, or just stop throwing a wet blanket over what your allies and others are trying to do, right? And then after the ICC, what the heck was anong pinagsasabi ni Marcos after ICC arrest ni? Parang mas me. Dude, You have to step up, man. You're the president, right? This is your time. You're gonna be worse than lame duck. Bubugbugin kayo ng sarado until 2028 and then pag bumalik ang mga Duterte, yari kayo. Ganon kasimple lang yung situation ng BBM. It's gonna be an existential crisis for him, his family, everyone, if the BBM Dutertes come back. And Dutertes are not hiding their glee at the possibility of coming back and visiting vengeance. So yeah, BBM has to step up. For heaven's sake, you're the commander in chief. You still have 1-2 years before becoming technically lame duck or whatever. Get the ball rolling. Get the ball rolling. Do your thing. Right? You're the president, for heaven's sake. Speak out. Huwag kang matakot. Ako nga nagbabash ako ng 100 times a day. Wala ka pake. If you think you're good enough, you became the president, what the heck? Step it up. Step it up. And at the same time, ayusin niyo yung mga problema niyo, yung PhilHealth issue, yung mga Maharlika Fund, yung mga, kung ano mga kapalpakan, yung mga 20 peso kada kilo, what, go ahead. And anyway, hindi naman nag-succeed si Trillanes for Caloocan, although he got close to what, 35-40% of the votes. That's quite impressive. But, Trillanes could be very helpful. Andy, he's the tigre. You still have Torre there, who could be the next PNP chief. Isa pang tigre. So, it's not like walang mga tigre. Nasa, So, even if, sigabin natin kuting yung isa, dito pa rin yung mga tigre. So, get the work done. Get the work done. Okay. You only have 2 years. Otherwise, yayarin kayo ng mga Dutertes. Get it going. And that brings, guys, us to the penultimate issue. Ano naman ang gagawin ng genuine opposition? Obviously, kung genuine opposition ka, sisiguraduhin walang martial law mangyari, sisiguraduhin mo hindi makalimutan ng tao yung dictatorship ni Marcos at yung legacy niya at yung mga, yes, and fiscalize 100%. But, Leila, Chell, prosecution team. There are even suggestion na as private prosecutor na lang si Luke Espirito. So you're already having a buy-in or involvement of progressives dito sa prosecution ni Sara Duterte. So all in na sila. But Risa, bam! Or if na-endorse ng INC yung isa. And then Kiko, right? What are you gonna do? You don't have the numbers. You're just 3 at most. So how are you gonna do it? Who are you gonna work with, right? What are the constellation of candidates you're looking at? If Rafi Tulfo, who's could be the next top presidential candidate, if Sara is taken out of equation, are you gonna work with Rafi quietly? Are you gonna work with some of the other trapos na takot na directly go against Dutertes, but at the same time also see the logic? What are you gonna do about that? So yun guys, yun yung mga mahalagang issue. Magka-crystallize ba ito? Will Chell, Checky Bam, Leila, all of them, Risa, work together, get something going? Will there be the mitochondria of holding Sara Duterte accountable while at the same time watching BBM? And then will there be, ultimately, this is the question, will there be a interface between BBM and the pink progressives since ang common threat ngayon is the Duterte comeback? And not to mention the accountability issue. Pag makabalik ang Duterte, yari lahat. Hindi lang mga BBM, yari din ang mga pinks. Right? Akbayan is gonna be red tag right and left if Dutertes are back. You think Sara will forgive Akbayan for being the first sponsor of the impeachment against her? You think Sara will be nice to them? Absolutely not. You think the DDS will be fine with the power sharing with the pinks for 2028? No. So I think we have to be very clear about it. BBM, I mean, I can go Dante Alighieri. Purgatorio. Okay, nothing perfect, far from perfect, problematic, everything. But you're talking about seventh circle of hell if the comeback thing happens. And it's going to be like, que horror for everyone. It's going to be que horror for everyone. Why am I more Italiano? I'm supposed to be British. It's going to... I mean, how else can I spell this out? Okay? Gets kayo mga pinks na kaibigan natin have every legitimate reason to be pissed off and angry and want to hold the Marcoses accountable. But, believe me, pag nakabalik ang mga Dutertes, yari lahat. Yari lahat. And yari yung demokrasya natin, ekonomiya natin, forget about it. Forget about it. You know guys, I'm not fan of BBM. I think ang dami niya kapalpakan, ang dami niya mga ek-ek. What did we expect, right? Ano ba achievement ng tao na ito nung siya? I mean, I was just here talking to some folks from Oxford and all, like, and said, he didn't even graduate, did it? Like, yung mga ganun, like, what did they give him? So, you get what I'm saying? Like, no fun at all. But, guys, we have democratic space right now. De Lima nakabalik sa Kongreso. Akbayan, best performance probably ever, right? Top of the party list ever. all of this is happening during BBM's time, not because BBM is great. It's because BBM at least is not a direct threat in ways that Duterte's will be once they come back. So how else am I going to spell this out when I talk about tactical alliances and tactical voting and all of that? Obviously, hindi nag-working tactical voting as much as it should have. Kaya nga you got Camille and Aimee instead of, I don't know, Abalos or Pacquiao or whatever. This is not an ideal world. Numbers game to. Fantastic ranking for Bam and Kiko, but they're just 2 votes. And then there's just Riza. That's it. So in that situation, if the Pinks don't make the right move, Duterte come back to. And at the same time, Pinks also have to be very clear if there's going to be a tactical alliance, they still fiscalize Marcos. Do you get what I'm saying? These are tough choices. These are hard choices, guys. Hard choices. So I just hope people are not taking the wrong lessons out of these elections. Yes, Bam did very well. Yes, Kiko did way better than everyone expected. But let's be honest, nakalusot sila because basically nagkaroon ng, they were able to get support from both sides because the both sides are trying to court them. Come 2028, that's not going to be the case anymore because the Pinks should field their own presidential candidate. And then, diyan banggaan na with the DDS. Because BBM has no candidate for 2028. Sino candidate niya? Hello? Like, look at the options. Like, 1% lang yung isa. So, yeah. And this is all about 2028. Right? If Sara is seen as the inevitable next president, good luck holding them accountable and good luck holding them back once they're in power. Okay, before I say something more, I get more Italiano with the espresso and everything. I'm eating here and put myself in trouble, guys. Please don't take it against me when I raise these issues because I look at 5, 6, 7 years from now. I look at 2, 3 steps from now. Hindi lang ako, I just look at the elections yesterday or election 10 years ago. Guys, you have to be strategically minded and look at all of the scenarios. And I'm telling you guys, if you were to bet today, the most likely scenario, if BBM doesn't step up, if the Pinks don't do the right thing, if there were to be no tactical coalition, Duterte's will be back. Yayarin lahat. Yayarin lahat. Now I don't know if basta will do yung sabi niya sa lahat ng Ilocanos. I don't know about that, but yari lahat, guys. You think Akbayan will have political democratic space if Sara or DDS are the president again? Good luck sa lahat. You think Bam and Kiko are gonna have an easy time? You think Riza will have? Forget about it, guys. Forget about it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, real talk tayo. Let's have a real talk. So dun sa mga tao na gusto mag-shutdown, oh Richard, nag-intriga ka, get out of here. It's because of, I'll be a gentle. It's because of those people, wonderful people, amazing people. Kaya nga tayo nasa mess na yan eh. If the Dilawan were really good, Duterte would have been disqualified from even running for president. The reason why nasa Duterte decade tayo is because sa kapalpakan ng ginawa ng mga Dilawan when they had the chance to make sure ma-filter out yung mga katulad ni Digong. And they didn't. And next thing you know, anong ginawa nila when Digong was in power? Right? How effective was their resistance? Nung kinulong si Leila de Lima, ano yung mga solid expression of solidarity? So, please lang guys, just because some folks did number 2, number 5 now, let's not forget they're just 2 votes. And let's not forget, these were exceptional circumstances whereby the kurut-kurut thing works. Come 2028, it's really basically down to whether it's Sara Duterte or Bongo or / someone else. I'm gonna real talk you guys on that. So that's where I'm coming from. So, yung mga iba dyan na mga wag intriga, let's just, follow the leader, let's just be happy, whatever. It's that kind of presentist, lack of strategic foresight that got us into this mess to begin with. And if you want to silence, back in 2014-15, sino ba ako nun? Diba? Ngayon din, hindi ako big shot na person. But at least now, 10 years ahead, after studying very carefully everything all around the world and in the Philippines, eto lang masasabi ko, if walang tactical alliance, if the Pinks don't get it right on what is the real primary threat to our constitutional order, if BBM doesn't step up, babalik ang mga Dutertes, yari ang lahat. Yun lang masasabi ko. And you're gonna miss whatever is happening now, no matter how Ewan and Palpak or whatever is BBM. I'm telling you guys, you're talking about Purgatorio versus 7 Circle of Hell. That's the best way I can put it. Alright? On that note, thank you very much. Maraming salamat. God bless and talk to you soon. Medyo tumaas ang natin ng Maybe it's the espresso. You blame the espresso. Okay, espresso. Thank you very much, guys. Whew. And yes, Pink should think about fielding their own presidential candidate. Is it Bam? Is it Risa? Is it Lenny? Vico is not, guys, yun ang gusto kong sinabi ni Vico eh. Sabi ni Vico, huwag kayong maghanap ng savior. Ang kailangan natin kilusan, ang kailangan natin ng organization, ang kailangan natin, guys, is forward strategic thinking. All right? Take the world as it is and then work around it, as Macron put it. I'm not a fan of Macron, although I'll talk to these people soon, but guys, let's get real. Let's mature up, guys. Right? Politics is the art of possible and it's art of making the possible work for the good. But if you go for purity, for perfection, for moral narcissism, or denialism, good luck sa atin lahat, yayarin tayong lahat. Basically. I have to spell it out? Okay? So, please lang, makinig kayo sa akin. I do know what I'm talking about. All right? That's why, okay, never mind. Baka sabihin naman mayabang na naman tayo. Hindi, hampas lupa lang naman tayo kumpara sa mga kabilang channel, di ba? Ang kabilang channel naman ay talagang perfect journalism, objective, whatever. Tayo, sino ba naman tayo, di ba? Anyway, thank you so much. God bless. And talk to you, mapapahamak na naman ako. Oh. Anong excuse ko? Hindi naman jet lag ang excuse. And must be the hair. Medyo tumaas ata ang testosterone natin dyan. But guys, come on. Do you get where I'm coming from? Okay? So, please, support lang ha. Babash na naman ako after this. Love you. Talk to you soon, guys.